Hi runners, it's Tuesday, and that means it's time for our next Tuesday training tip. This week, I'm gonna skip the emails. I promise you I'll get back to them, but this one just popped into my mind because it was a recent event, right? It's a very sensitive subject for many people. We're talking about chafing, which is a very, very sensitive subject for some folks. We've all had it, whether it's your nips or your hips or in between your legs or under your arms, everybody gets it in different places. It's never fun, but there's ways to prevent it, right? Everybody knows that there's Vaseline and there's Body Glide. That's a very popular one. Another product, Under Armour makes a stick, very much like Body Glide. I'm a huge proponent of squirrel nut butter. I'm not sure if you've heard of these folks, but when I started getting into a lot of ultra running, I started using squirrel nut butter, and it's fantastic. I'm not sponsored by these guys. I have no affiliation, but I will say when I ran the Bighorn 100 miler a couple years ago, I applied this liberally on my body at the start of the 100 miler, and I never applied any more of this for the rest of the event. And I had no chafing whatsoever. Incredible stuff. And if you don't like the stick, they also come in a little salve. You can get the cream if you like that kind of stuff. Whatever your choice of product, there's a couple things you should be looking for. When you go for a run, pay attention to hot spots, areas that didn't chafe but could potentially chafe. That might be the back of your heel. You might notice that your nipples are a little sensitive after a run, or maybe your waistline where your shorts are rubbing. Wherever those spots are, you need to know that on wet days, like a rainy day, or a humid day where you're sweating a lot, those are potential hot spots that are gonna turn into bad chafing. And you've all seen the number 11 bib, where someone's had nipple chafing and then the bloodline runs down their shirt. Not pleasant. Worse than that is taking a shower afterwards. Has everybody done that tamale dance? Like, and you're jumping around in the shower because it's so awful because you're burning. Well, we had a runner who ran the light at the end of the total marathon this weekend, or past weekend, and she had some really bad chafing. Her sports bra cut her chest right here to the point that she was bleeding pretty badly. It was a little more humid than they expected, and it led to chafing. When we were talking on the phone afterwards, she said, Alex, I'm not sure how I'm gonna get in the shower. This is gonna be awful. How am I gonna, I'm not gonna be able to get under the water because it's gonna hurt so much. My wife, who overheard the conversation, gave me a tip that, I've been doing this for 15 years and I didn't know this tip. So kudos to my wife for making this happen. She said, the product that's gonna become your best friend if you chafe is the Glad Press and Seal. And you're like, what? Because you use this stuff on bowls, you use it to cover up food in the kitchen. It has a lot of purposes, but it's also for chafing. So if you get to the shower and you're dying, what you do instead is you take this, you cut a piece out that matches the size of your chafing wound, and you put it on top of it. It seals that wound, so when you take a shower, you're not burning. And the beautiful thing about it is when you peel it off, it doesn't stick to your wound either, so that it doesn't hurt. So I was a little skeptical. Our runner tried this, and we talked to her later, and she's like, it saved my life. I didn't burn in the shower. I felt fine, and when I got out, I peeled it off, and it didn't take any scab or wounds or anything with it. So kudos to my wife, the genius who made it all happen. So there you go, guys. Make sure you pay attention to hot spots. Lube appropriately. If it's raining, pay more attention to spots of your body that may not chafe normally. If you're sweating a lot, same thing. And then if you do happen to chafe, Glad Press and Seal. I don't know these folks either, but it works. All right, guys, next Tuesday we'll do another tip, and I promise I'll get back to the email questions and I'll answer those. Until then, take care.